Greetings YouTube, my name is Inquisitor Austin on Overlook and welcome to my channel. Today is Sunday, January 3rd, 2020, 5:56 p.m. Happy late Christmas and Happy New Year's and stuff like that. My last update video was, I think, last weekend. I think it was the weekend before this one. And I was talking about how I was getting a little tired of the, what do you call it? I don't even know if there's a word for it or not, but I guess AAA modern military type games. And I was saying how I think my last update video was sometime last week, in the middle of last week, like Wednesday or Thursday. But anyway, I was saying how the last game I was going to play was Battlefield Hardline, and I was kind of excited for it because I was hoping it wouldn't be the same or even a similar experience to the Battlefield games, because I Let's Play Bad Company Part 1. I enjoyed it. I Let's Play Bad Company Part 2. I Let's Play Bad Company Part 3. Part 2 and Part 3 I didn't like too much. And Part 4 just really pissed me off, so I was like, I don't want to do it. It was just too ridiculous. It was better than 3, but at the same time there were things about the game that were just too ridiculous that I didn't like. Stuff that made me just not want to even let's play it. And excuse me. So I tried Hardline, and Hardline really, really impressed me. I wish other developers, like the Call of Duty people or the people at Medal of Honor series, I wish they would try to do something different, like Battlefield Hardline did. But I eventually gave up on Battlefield Hardline as well. And it's funny because the reason I gave up on Battlefield Hardline is the same reason why I prefer at least the first Battlefield Battlefield game, Bad Company. The reason I prefer that game, or I liked it so much, is because enemies didn't just. It seemed like enemies didn't just pour in. Like it was like for each battle there was a number of enemies, and I like that a lot because that's a nice change compared, in comparison to games like Call of Duty or maybe I guess Medal of Honor or something, where enemies just keep pouring in and pouring in and pouring in and pouring in. I liked how each battle had, or it seems like it had a set amount of enemies, and once you defeated the enemies, that was it. You move on to the next area. That's why I liked that game over Call of Duty. However, in Battlefield Hardline, I don't know. I don't. Excuse me. I don't know. I I think I think there's an alarm system in the game where after a while certain areas of the game or certain levels will have alarms, and if you can disable the alarm, then that stops. Hang on a second. That stops enemies from coming in, or like enemies from, or reinforcements, or it stops enemies from respawning after you kill whatever enemies are, after you kill or apprehend whatever enemies are on that level. And sometimes, a lot of times, the alarm will be placed in a certain part of the level to where like you can't disable it immediately. Like the alarm may be on the other side of the level, surrounded by enemies, and so you got to be really careful with that game. The thing I liked what about the game, the things I liked about it, I liked the stealth. I liked the stealth, and I liked that if you were spotted, you could go hide somewhere and have a chance of, the enemy just giving up looking for you. I like that because a lot of games that have stealth, and especially games on the PS2 or whatever, the enemies don't really. Once you're spotted, you can't run and hide nowhere. They know where you are. So I liked that. But at the beginning, I liked the stealth. Later on, I grew to sort of loathe the stealth because the stealth seems to me the stealth seems mandatory. Like if you want to complete a level and not be pulling your hair out or just having a terrible time with the game, you had to do stealth. Excuse me. The reason I like the stealth is because you play as a cop, and the stealthier you are, the better chance you have of locking up criminals or putting people under arrest. The more you do that, the more your rating goes up. You have like a cop rating or a badge rating or whatever, and as you perform more and more arrests and lock more people up, that rating increases, and you unlock new weapons, new gadgets, and stuff like that. I'll be right back. So yeah, that was the enjoyable thing about the stealth. But the problem I had was you max out once you max out your thing, because the maximum level is 15, and after you found enough evidence and locked a few people up, well, more than a few people, you eventually max out and you can't level up anymore. And after that, to me, the combat or the stealth is just sort of pointless, but also it's mandatory because you can't just go around playing it like you would a regular shooter. You can, but not really. Because if you do that, the enemies will just call in reinforcements, and you'll just be fighting endless enemies until you're able to actually disable the alarm. And that's how the rest of the game goes. I think the game has 9 chapters. I think by the end of chapter 6, and or maybe the end of chapter 6 or the very beginning of chapter 7, somewhere along those lines, I had maxed out my my cop rating, or whatever you want to call it. And about the gadgets, one of the gadgets you can equip after you've leveled up quite a bit are bulletproof vests. And I don't know, they don't seem to do much. They don't seem to do much. I don't think. They help a little bit, but I don't know. Because the part where I gave up on, I was just dying and dying and dying. Because like this, how can I put this? The stealth is, to me, it felt very mandatory. I'll give you an example. The level I gave up on, there were these 2 guys that I was supposed to, that I could either, I would have a hard time sneaking past them. A pretty hard time doing that. So you have to either subdue them somehow, whether using like a stun gun or whatever, or locking them up. And if you lock them up, that's kind of the best way to. It's almost the best way to do things, because if I were to shoot them both, even if I had a silenced weapon, if I could shoot them both like quickly, or if I could shoot them both, somehow that's going to alert the other enemies in the game. Because it's not just gunshots in this game that alerts the enemies. It could be yelling. So if I shoot one person and the other guy's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" and I shoot him, just that noise or whatever, or that gasp of surprise, whatever you want to call it, will alert other enemies. Because right down the hallway from that first area, there's another guy sitting on a chair in like a little lounge area. So yeah, I was stuck there for a while. I would subdue one person at the very beginning of the level, then I go to the other two guys, and I would try to lock them up. And the thing about locking people up is you gotta. It's kind of funny because sometimes when you flash your badge, that usually makes people raise their hands. But you got to be careful because a lot of times one person raises hands and the other person won't, or he may raise his hands, but like if you sort of look away slightly, or if you're not looking directly at him, he'll be reaching for his gun. So you got to kind of keep it centered on them. And sometimes one person would raise their hands, the other person wouldn't. So that just became like an endless trial and error. I would kill the first guy, go over there, flash my badge. One guy raised his hands, the other one wouldn't, and so that was just that was that was very annoying. That's one thing I didn't like about the stealth and about the game period, because you can't just play the game as a regular shooter. For some reason, I couldn't just go around just shooting people, even if it was silence, because somehow other enemies would notice, and once they notice, they start pouring in. An alarm gets raised, and I'm fighting endless enemies, or seemingly endless enemies. I don't mind, but like I said, you die pretty quickly in the game, even with a vest. If you got more than one person shooting at you, sometimes like you die pretty quickly, and it's I don't know. It just felt really frustrating to me, and I don't do Let's Plays to get frustrated. So I was hoping to at least Let's Play that game right there, but I guess it wasn't meant to be. So I'm kind of disappointed about that, but I'm also kind of relieved because now I can work on focusing on other games that aren't AAA, big budget style games, and hopefully I'll have some progress, or hopefully I'll make some progress. The next game that I plan on attempting to Let's Play will be this game right here, Sniper Elite 3. And I'm going to try to do all of the Sniper games. Sniper Elite 3. I'll do this one first because I don't know how much trouble I'm going to have with this game. Sniper Elite V2. I've completed that game before, so hopefully I can just breeze through it, not have too rough of a time. And then I'll do the Sniper Ghost Warrior games. Then after that, I wanna try my hand before I get into the regular shooters that I have planned or that are on my list. I want to try a little bit of the survival horror games because that's something I've been wanting to do on my channel for a while. And we'll see how things go from there. If that doesn't work out, then I'll just work on my regular stuff, stuff on my list. And I think that's about it. Yeah, back to Battlefield Hardline. You earn so many weapons in the game, like so many different types of weapons, and on every level you have this little case or some sort of gun case just laying in certain parts of the level, usually at the beginning, and you can choose your loadout. And it's like you get all those selections of weapons, but the gameplay is so crap sometimes, and you die so so quickly, especially once the alarm is set off. But it's just, excuse me, it feels kind of pointless at times. Now, if I wasn't Let's Playing the game, if I wasn't Let's Playing it, then maybe I wouldn't mind. Maybe I wouldn't mind. I mean, I'm thinking about going back and playing it now, just to finish it off real quick. I may do that. I don't think I'll come back to Let's Play it. Although maybe I will, because when I think back on the Battlefield experience, or the experience I've had playing those games, this game will probably stand out the most to me, because it will, with its frustrations, at least it's something. At least it's something different. It's something different than the other Battlefield games. Like I said, Battlefield Bad Company is amazing. It's a great game. One of the best shooters I've played. If I have a top 30 list of first-person shooters, it's in there. And part 2, part 3, part 4, I didn't like. Anyway, you guys take care. I'll be starting my Let's Play attempt of Sniper Elite 3 directly after this video. And yeah, take care, you guys. Be safe. Have a happy holidays. And that's it. I'll see you guys later.